Check out our online courses now. The link is in the video description.
Hi and welcome back to Physiotutors. Rheumatoid arthritis is a systemic autoimmune disease which affects mostly joints but also the cardiovascular and respiratory system. In the previous video we talked about the history taking and the physical examination in people with rheumatoid arthritis based on the recommendations of the clinical practice guideline by Peter et al. In the year 2021. In this video we'll shed some light on the proposed treatment options coming forward in the clinical practice guideline. There is an important role for physical therapy in people with rheumatoid arthritis besides the pharmacological management of the disease. People with rheumatoid arthritis should understand the benefit of exercise and physical activity and should be advised to exercise appropriately. According to the clinical practice guideline, there is an indication for physiotherapy when the patient needs support regarding the rheumatoid arthritis related problems based on the limitations documented in the ICF, and when the patient is unable to achieve or maintain an adequate level of physical activity and/or exercise due to the condition. When another diagnosis is suspected or when red flags arise during history taking or during examination, the referring physician or general practitioner should be consulted. Absolute contraindications for physical therapy in patients with rheumatoid arthritis are fever, vertebral fractures, instability of the cervical spine, or having a recent tendon rupture. For the most optimal management of the patient with rheumatoid arthritis sitting in front of you, your treatment should be patient-specific based on the individual's problems and limitations. To help with that, the clinical practice guideline outlines 3 treatment profiles that may assist you in establishing such a personalized action plan. A patient in Profile 1 needs information and advice, for example on the condition and the related consequences, the treatment options, their own role, the health effects of appropriate exercise. But as they are able to perform exercises independently, they just need some instructions and advice on how they can better self-manage the condition. Quite similarly, patients categorized into Profile 2 need advice, but they also need brief physical therapy guidance during a concise period of supervision to allow them to carry out an exercise program individually and to obtain and maintain sufficient physical activity. On the other hand, patients with a Profile 3 are less independent and require intensive and long-term guidance during supervised physical therapy to achieve their desired goals, as their limitations in daily activities and social participation or their high disease activity, severe joint damage or deformities make it impossible to do so independently. Sometimes their comorbidities also hinder the implementation of physical activity, or they have some yellow flags in combination with inadequate pain coping, where you, as a physical therapist, may guide them towards an active approach for their rheumatoid arthritis. Advice and education is an important step for every patient, regardless of the treatment profile they belong to. What advice can you give them? Advice and instructions may be related to the performance of specific activities, for example, ways to distribute loads over multiple joints during heavy activities, or the use of assistive devices, how to be physically active, and how to distribute energy over the day and/or week. Next to giving advice, you may give the patient some brief education on the beneficial effect of individually adjusted and appropriately dosed exercises and/or physical activities on muscle strength, aerobic capacity, daily functioning, disease activity, and mental functioning. Sometimes patients need to understand why you give them an exercise program before they stick to it. They also need to understand that the preventive effects of a sufficient amount of physical activity and a limitation of sedentary behavior are particularly important for people with rheumatoid arthritis who are at an increased cardiovascular risk. The guideline does, apart from the needs corresponding to the specific patient profiles, also specifically state what form of exercise therapy should be done. Ideally, a combination of functional muscle strengthening, targeting multiple muscle groups and joints, and moderate to high intensity aerobic training should be performed. It is advised to spend at least 75% of the treatment time on one specific type of training, being strengthening or aerobic exercise, and to instruct the patient to perform the type of training that received less attention during that session independently. Based upon the American College of Sports Medicine for Patients with Arthritis guideline, the intensity of muscle strengthening exercises should be built up from 50 to 60% of the 1 repetition maximum to 60 to 80% of the 1 RM, while the intensity of aerobic exercise should be built up from 40 to 60% of the maximum heart rate, or from 12 to 13 on the Borg scale, to more than 60% of the maximum heart rate, which is corresponding to Borg scores between 14 and 17. Ideally, strengthening exercises should be performed daily, but at least twice a week, and aerobic exercise should be performed at least 5 days per week for a minimal duration of 30 minutes. Patients in Profile 1 can be instructed on how to perform appropriate exercise and should not be supervised in your physical therapy clinic. Patients in Profiles 2 and 3 require more guidance and supervision, but the goal should ultimately be to empower those patients to be independent. Thereby, it is important not to decrease the frequency of exercising, but to help with the shift from supervised to independent exercising. Patient-specific exercise targeting the needs and problems in the form of strengthening, aerobic and functional training is the way to go when you encounter a person with rheumatoid arthritis. The program can be adapted to 3 specific patient profiles to guide the patient in front of you. Very importantly, non-exercise interventions like low-level laser therapy, electrostimulation including TENS, ultrasound, massage, thermotherapy, medical taping or dry needling should not be offered. Passive joint mobilizations can only be considered shortly to increase joint mobility in an affected joint only as an exception to support exercise therapy. Importantly, do not offer passive mobilizations in case of cervical problems. This intervention is contraindicated. Alright, this video talked about the recommended treatment strategy for people with rheumatoid arthritis. I hope you learned something you can use in clinical practice. Be sure to give us a like and follow us on social media if you want to get more of this type of content. As always, this was Ellen. I'll see you in another video. Bye.